The Hour of Joy is the point in Poppy Playtime when the toys attacked the employees and regained rule over the factory. But there's a lot of hidden details and secrets in the Hour of Joy that could tell not only the past, but also the future of Poppy Playtime. With Boxy Boo, let me explain. Let's start off with what the Hour of Joy is. On August 8, 1995, at 10:45 a.m., Kissy Missy was being relocated to Playcare via train. 15 minutes later, exactly at 11 a.m., the prototype and his allies initiated a massive rebellion against their oppressors. In a tape shown by Poppy, Huggy Wuggy is first seen ambushing and attacking employees in the main lobby, and presumably off-screen killing the scientist in final log a bit after. Next, Mommy Longlegs is shown killing people at the game station by lifting them up, then dropping them from lethal height. Another employee at water treatment is seen being swarmed and possibly devoured by a mob of mini smiling critters and mini huggies. The scene then cuts to a hallway in the school, where Miss Delight and her sisters chase a man into one of the classrooms before showing Kissy Missy knocking out the employees that were transporting her. Boxy Boo is then shown in a hallway tearing apart an employee before Catnap is shown in Playcare, seemingly looking for survivors while throwing a body onto the steps of the counselor's office. The final part of the tape shows various locations from the first 3 chapters, including Make a Friend, the game station, Playcare, and the catwalk leading to Poppy's room, all filled with bodies. Although an emergency alert notice was sent out to warn the workforce, nearly everyone within the facility, both guilty and innocent, was slaughtered by the toys in the factory. Their screams can be heard in the background of 2 separate tapes. Afterwards, we know that all of these bodies were stored in the Chapter 4 location, in the game files named the prison, where Poppy was taking us to go save whoever is left down there. These bodies were all eaten after a few years by the toys, however. The remaining survivors, including Leith Pierre, were forced to hide while attempting to escape, and their fates are unknown. The sudden disappearance of all the employees led to the closure of Playtime Co., though it remains unclear if any investigation was ever launched. The toys later referred to this rebellion as the Hour of Joy, with the monsters remaining in their previous locations. The corpses of all those slain were then brought to the deepest parts of the facility to be consumed by the toys as a form of sustenance. Eventually, this food source either dwindled or was cut off, leading to various toys turning on each other for sustenance before the player's return in 2005. This was the end of the Hour of Joy and caught us up to date with the current storyline, but I also think that this exposes the past of the factory before the Hour of Joy. Before the Hour of Joy, it seems that there was already growing tensions with the toys and the workers because of the orphans that were already made into the toys and the poor, way they treated them as seen with the Catnap VHSs.
Theo, nobody's gonna save you. This prison is where you belong. We'll let you out here and there to go see the kids in Playcare, but your home is here. And as for the prototype, his home is in the labs. This is your life now. Get used to it.
This would cause the prototype to resent the factory workers because of how the scientists treated him. Imagine being locked up in a cell with no explanation, and this random dude keeps on torturing you to find out why you were alive. That would ruin your perception of humans' right. So this would mean that the toys had no idea about how the humans can be good people, and would proceed to try to kill them all. This would start with toys like Boxy Boo and Huggy starting to escape and kill workers, then would escalate when the prototype escaped the factory, and it was put on lockdown. This would mean that the prototype is actually a smaller toy like Catnap, and not as big as we think back then, which is the only way that he could have escaped. Right after, the Hour of Joy starts and all heck breaks loose. When all of this happens, this is the base information that we know about the Hour of Joy. But the real interesting part is the plan and what happened after. Let's start with the plan first. We know that the prototype was the main conspirator of the Hour of Joy and got all of the toys to attack at the start. He most likely reminded them of what the employees have done to them and manipulated them to all take his side and kill them. This would result in almost every toy except for Poppy joining them in the Hour of Joy. We know that there were appointed officials for certain areas. This seems to have been decided on by intelligence and loyalty, which would mean that Catnap, Mommy Longlegs, and other talking toys are very similar to humans and were the leaders of the Hour of Joy. This would make sense because we see the most bodies in the Playcare and the game room, which would mean that these leaders killed much more effectively than someone like Huggy Wuggy or Kissy Missy. Now let's talk about what happened after the Hour of Joy. It seemed like that the toys were living in decent harmony and feeding off of the dead bodies until there was very little food left. Then Then the toys seem to have seemed refuge, with Catnap where he would ration the supplies. Some of the toys like Poppy, Kickin', Dog Day, Bubba, Hoppy, Kissy, and a few other toys however didn't like Catnap, which would cause a divide in the factory. It seemed that the more that food ran out, the more the toys and to turn on each other and eat each other for food. This would cause the factory to be split into even more factions, with Catnap ruling the playcare, Mommy ruling the game station, and Poppy running the top floor. This eventually would cause wars in the factory, and many toys to be hated and hunted down, like how we see in Chapter 3 and 1, with May hanging toys that seem to get the Dog Day treatment for being heretics. However, after a while it seems like that Poppy lost this war, and her members were all either killed or went into hiding. This can be seen with Dog Day being tortured and Poppy being put in a box for her disagreeing with the way the prototype ran things. But with all of this, there is one toy that is in the hour of joy that isn't accounted for, which is Boxy Boo. So, where does all of this leave Boxy Boo? Well, I have a theory that Boxy Boo is actually still alive, and is one of the main antagonists of Chapter 4. We know that Catnap was the last real obstacle to getting to the prototype, but we know that that might not be true, because Poppy last minute said that there's something she wasn't telling us. This could mean that Boxy Boo, or some sort of other antagonist, could have dragged or killed Kissy. I believe that there are three possibilities to what could happen in Chapter 4. The first is that Boxy Boo dragged Kissy away to the innovation station, or some other weird place, and we will have to follow him to a less safe place of entry to the prison, which we know was supposed to be the next chapter's location because of secrets found while exploring the game. This could mean that Chapter 4's main antagonist will be more impulsive and constantly trying to kill us in a dark prison. The second option is that Poppy and Kissy are actually conspiring against us again, and now that they have what they want, they are just going to throw us away into the prison, which was the whole part off the plan. Notice how we don't hear and pitter-patter when Kissy was taken, but instead, just screaming. This could mean that they planted it out, and after we find Kissy her, and Poppy will push us in a hole leading to the prison. This would cause us to go on our own solo adventure on killing the prototype and Poppy, which would be so cool. I mean, imagine us going out of that factory, killing literally everything and saving all of the lost people. The third thing that could happen would be us chasing Kissy and a new antagonist that isn't Boxy Boo down into the innovation station and trying save Kissy. If you want more info on this theory, you can watch my other older video on that.